Heading to university is one of the biggest decisions anyone has to make. It is a focal point in one's life because a lot can rest on the outcome. Even after obtaining a degree, many people wonder whether they should leave a life of academic study and head into the corporate world, or if they should further their education and bulk up their qualifications in hope of a better chance at a career. Khalid and Abdul Majid decided to take the latter choice. After obtaining their BAs from Saudi Arabia, they enrolled in Cairo University's master's program. As committed Muslims, they both start their day very early with dawn prayers.
I am Khaalid Athmali. I was born in Taif Governorate. I was raised in this governorate and I also studied there. I graduated from Taif University. God blessed me and granted me the chance to study in the Arab Republic of Egypt. Before I began studying here in Egypt away from home, I experienced what I feel and believe is a very important phase in my life, where I regenerated myself and took time to look back into my life. This was when I began my military service. It was a form of encouragement for me to look into my future. I benefited from my military service experience in things like time management and depending on myself in everything. After I graduated from the University of Taif, I joined Cairo University.
Despite the hardships he encountered at first, Khalid is enjoying his stay in Cairo.
My experience with Cairo since the moment I stepped foot into the city was very interesting. I was shocked to see how public places and streets were so crowded in the city. This is completely different from what we are used to back home. But as time passed and I began to mingle with people and go about my daily business, I got used to it and I became a part of this country. I share people's sorrows and happy moments and all their life aspects. After 3 years of living in Cairo, I could say it was tough at the beginning, just like any experience away from home would be. But now I could say that I got more used to life here and all the circumstances around me. This is all thanks to God Almighty.
Life is much easier for Khalid now. He has become proficient at the Egyptian dialect, which makes it quite easy for him to mingle with the Egyptians. But this certainly required a lot of time, effort, and courage on his part.
My life over the past 3 years in Cairo was mainly based on being part of the society. I had to find ways to accommodate myself in every possible way. I go to public places, I use public transport, and I go to vegetable markets as well to buy what I need. I even go to the dry cleaners. Life over here turned out to be as if I'm in my home country, Saudi Arabia.
life can be very tough without your loved ones around. This applies more in the Arab world, especially with people who are raised to be dependent on their families, and so it is difficult to live alone. For Khalid, having a friend with whom to share the good times and the bad was an important factor in helping him survive away from home. Of course, a friend does not fill the void that one feels when away from his or her family, but a friend certainly contributes to alleviating the emptiness.
I am Abdul Majid Muhammad Hussein al-Bargi. I was born in the Barak area in the province of Asir. I studied my primary, prep, and high school years in Barak. I later joined Yemen University in Riyadh, then I transferred to King Khalid University in Abha, where I graduated with a degree in Islamic Sharia. Thanks be to God, I worked for some time as a lawyer in a private office, and then I decided to join the King's Study Abroad program. And thanks be to God, I was able to enroll in the University of Cairo in the Institute of Educational Studies. And now, I am on the verge of completing my master's degree. My aim was to study in a country with a society that is similar to the Saudi society. An Islamic country where the society shares the same habits with our society, where I could get a good education as well. Universities are not the absolute source of education, but during our bachelor degree studies, we were taught that a university degree is a key to knowledge. Thanks be to God, I also took some courses here in Egypt, be it through Cairo University, or in other universities in the country. It was a great opportunity for me to utilize my time and learn as much as I can.
After more than 3 years in Cairo, Khalid and Abdul Majid have become very familiar with the noisy city. They feel fully at ease strolling along its crowded streets and interacting with the friendly Egyptians. Despite the availability of several types of transportation, the two friends, accompanied by Abdul Majid's son, prefer to walk and enjoy the weather.
I have many goals in life that I hope God will help me to achieve. I strive to serve my religion and my home country. I would feel very rewarded if I could serve my generation, the Islamic generation. I also strive to serve my family and community. Thanks be to God, and with His blessings, I was able to fulfill part of the goals I have set for myself. With God's help, and I hope in the future I will achieve more goals. I have completed many phases in my life, and I guess I mentioned this especially because of my military service experience. At first, I felt it was a very difficult phase in my life, and I felt my future was blocked because I did not expect to enter the academic life to complete my university degree. I owe all this to God Almighty and to the prayers of my dear parents.
Despite Khalid and Abdul Majid's strong academic backgrounds and experience when compared to high school graduates, for example, they did face real challenges adapting to university environments on a foreign soil. But there were three major factors they considered very well to make the most of their experience. The first is on an academic level, which depends on the availability of their chosen subjects. The second is financial, which affects many students' decisions, while the third is surely the students' characteristics and living preferences.
Living away from home is very difficult. This is especially true in the first few months because you live among different people. You must know their ways and how to deal with them. It is different for us, for example, because our country is more spacious and less congested. Here it is too crowded, but this crowdedness has become a sort of life that we may miss when we go back to Saudi Arabia. But when we overcome the first phase in a new country, we get used to it, especially after finding our way around and places we need to go and how to get there. The most important thing is to mingle. No one can cross the ocean by standing still at the beach. One must find ways to get involved with the society, to understand it and feel with it and learn about its culture. Our purpose here is not just to study, we also learn about the culture which we can greatly benefit from when we tailor it to ourselves and so gain the best out of the experience.
Khalid and Abdul Majid are sitting in what may be called the heart of Old Cairo, the Al Hussein area. It is the area where the great Al Hussein Mosque stands right opposite to where they are both now sitting. The mosque was named after the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and prayers be upon him, Al Hussein, because it is believed that his head is buried there.
I didn't feel that much out of place in this country. Thanks be to God, the Egyptian people are very understanding and cooperative people. I'm not the only one who feels this way about Egyptians. This shows from the large number of foreigners visiting and living here. It's difficult for you not to stumble upon a foreigner in every street in the great city of Cairo, whether an Arab or European. Another important aspect is the security and safety we feel over here. Thanks be to God, we are very safe in Cairo.
A myriad of cafes, restaurants, shops, and large numbers of vendors and buyers constitute the dynamic panorama of Al Hussein. Drinking hibiscus or karkadeh or hilba or any of the various typical Egyptian beverages is a pleasant experience for visitors and guests to get a real taste of the experience. For smokers, there is the shisha or water pipe to be tried. Khalid and Abdul Majid certainly enjoy the place which they visit as often as they can. The area hosts one of the most famous traditional coffee shops in Cairo, Qahwat Al-Fishawi. Al-Fishawi has been the destination of intellectuals, artists, poets and actors, among many others, for decades. The Ottoman decorations and cozy setting give the place a special warmth. Khan al-Khalili is one of the more interesting souks, not only in Egypt, but in the whole of the Middle East. It is famous for its unusual, typically Oriental souvenirs and handmade crafts.
As for my social life here in Egypt, I was blessed and honored to know a lot of nice people in Cairo. A human is in general sociable, and people tend to like mixing with others from different societies. Thanks be to God, I have a large number of friends from Egypt and other Arab countries, and Asian countries as well, owing to the time I spent here and mixing with many people at the university, as well as all the events I attended. Thanks be to God, the cultural attaché at the embassy was with us every step of the way. Many trips and other cultural activities were organized by the embassy within and outside Cairo, in places like